What is up, guys? Thought we'd go back to the bench again tonight and do some more electronics building. The quad is coming along fantastic. Super happy with how far we got. You guys were a great help last live show. I think we're in good shape. I'm going to try and queue up a chat monitor now off screen with any luck. Oh, yes, finally. It did show me my channel, so I should be able to actually see the chat tonight for once. This will be awesome. And then maybe we'll be able to do some cool stuff. We'll see. Alright, that'll do. That will do. I think we're in good shape. So where we left off the other night, not smash the camera, we left off, we got the PDB, the power distribution board all wired up for this super high performance little quadcopter, 30 amp ESCs, a lot of current needed, so we did a pretty good job on these connections. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, even with the small trials and tribulations we ran into. And the next up, we just gotta solder up a bunch of stuff. And next on the agenda is our hot rod flight control board. This is the SP Racing F3, and we'll give that a go and see how we make out. Where to start? First things first. What I did off camera. Hey, Balaji. Sorry if I butchered that. Let's see. What is going on here? Restore chat. Let's see. Just working through the ability to stream from here. I should be able to see. Let's see if anything pops up. When you guys type, if you can, type another message in chat for me. Do me a favor. It would be really awesome. That way I can test my off-screen one and see how it's working. Cool. Thanks, Raphael. I appreciate that. Hey, we got it. We're good. So what I did off-screen before I came down, tasty tidbit. If you're making a quadcopter, before you assemble it and do this soldering, as each piece goes on, test it and verify it. The SP flight controller, the SPF3, I went ahead and I flashed the firmware to it. I actually had no end of problems flashing the firmware, but I finally got it. Got it up to beta flight, the newest version. Yay, cool. And now we know it works. I went ahead and set up our receiver as well, and in the process, this receiver broadcasts back to my transmitter to tell me what battery levels and signal strength and all that kind of cool stuff are. Well, it turned out that this one, same one, except it has an older version of firmware, so it does not have RSSI. So it's no good for this quad until we update the firmware on it. It was well, it's kind of not really a bragging point of these receivers even having it to begin with, so I was kind of surprised, but whatever. Better to find it out now. So now I've got receiver tested, SPF3 tested, 12 Secreto 12. Yes, I do remember that YouTube username. I don't remember the content, but I remember talking to you in chat and stuff. Very cool. Good to have you around again. Alright. We'll get the soldering irons fired up. I'm just going to break out this chat and make it a little bigger so I can hopefully see it over my shoulder. Oh, sweet. Yay, we can zoom and everything. Awesome. I think we're in good shape. I thought about using one of these. Check out this tiny little this is a full iBus capable receiver. It'll do pretty much everything that this receiver will do, except I don't think it has telemetry down. No, it must not. Not without. It's a good question. I have no idea. Anyway, we're going to save that for like a little indoor quad. Pretty neat stuff. But for tonight, I thought we'd see if perhaps we can get all the electronic speed controls wired up and then start to get our camera set up and our VTX set up. And this thing should be in the air this weekend, no problem, as long as I can stick to it. But you guys know how that goes. Always end up busy. So I think we want, this side's going to be forward. And we can put our flight control in any orientation we desire. It's totally totally up to us kind of thing. I think I like the USB on the right. I don't know why. I'm right-handed, so I always like the USB on the right side. So that means we're going to have to bring all of our speed control wires over to the left side. And I don't think we can bring them across the top. Where did you buy this quad? This one came from Gear Best. Actually bought another one just the night before last, 2 nights ago. This same quad again because of the sheer value of it. It's crazy. It's a heck of a deal. Now, question is, can we bring these across the middle of the PDB without causing trouble going over these connections? I think that's going to be a problem. Yeah, that feels tight. Yeah, not going to work. So we got to go around and kind of under, and we can cut these right now to kind of fish them through. Let's leave a little bit so we can reuse this connector later. Might be handy. And perfect. Wow, the chat is silly delayed on my off-screen computer. That is weird. Oh well. There. Oh yeah, that's going to do nice. So we'll bring that through like so. Let's do the same with this one. Let's kind of snake it under things. The major battle of building a quad and doing a nice job of it is just taking the time to make things pretty and kind of, I don't know, neat, and kind of foresee where there might be problems later. Where can I get high RPM motors for a cheap price? Ooh, well, probably like the Bangoods and the Gear Bests of the world would probably be the best for something like that. But hobby shops, like any online hobby retailer as well, will help you out with that. In Canada, I like Great Hobbies. They're fantastic. Had great luck with them. Great service, fast shipping. There. That'll do. And then these ones are much easier. Let's go ahead and trim this one here for now. Actually, I probably already regret cutting it that short, but that's alright. We'll flip our PDB this way when we're working on it. It should be alright. The Make Me Store ship worldwide? Yep, it does. Like the store isn't fulfilled by me. It's all Amazon products. So anywhere Amazon ships, they ship. That's why I did this store that way. It's entirely fulfilled via Amazon. That's why anything you pick up there, you don't have to worry. You're not dealing with me or any unreputable supplier. It's guaranteed and checked out by Amazon, which is kind of, in my opinion, is a good thing. Alright, let's get this stuff out of the way. Tried building my own quad a while ago. Hardest part is trying to program the stupid flight controller. Yeah, you'll find that that's actually, depending on how long ago you did that, they were tricky, but they are not anymore, and I can honestly say that. They are simply not. This SPF3, I did have the problems programming it to get the bootloader to smarten up. Once I got the bootloader happy, Programmed, no problem, and I can vouch that with Betaflight 3.1 on there, it will fly just fine right out of the box, no question. The amount of work they've done with Betaflight nowadays is just bloody amazing. It's so fantastic. They do so good. And I gotta get the camera out of the way. There's only so much I can do with that in the way. Cool. Well, because I'm silly and I forget everything all the time, this is our motor number, so that's where we're going to wire our ESCs, and we might as well start. What should we start at? Number 1? We can start at number 1. Do me a favor. If you're wiring up one of these, why does that say very bad connection? What the hell is going on? Hold on. That is so weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm on Wi-Fi. I don't know. This app is just foolish. Very bad connection. I'm guessing the quality's going to go to poop for a minute, guys. I'm sure it'll be back before too long. Alright. So, a lot of people you'll see will just stick these on the top and just sort of plop them down. Please don't do that. There's through holes for a reason. Let's use them and actually wire them through the holes. So, let's just go nuts with soldering for a bit. I got my camera in the worst possible position for that, to be honest. Let's try this again. We'll move you guys. There, something like so. Something like so. Shaggy Buffalo. Gonna look into it again. Absolutely, please do. If you're making a quad, don't even think twice about using. Don't look at LibrePilot. Please don't. Sorry if anybody's a LibrePilot fan, but it's not supported, not up to date. And CleanFlight, honestly, I have no problems with the program, but Betaflight is so far superior in my opinion. You can just plug it in, it just works. The interfaces are awesome. It's bloody amazing. And right out of the box, you can have a fully functional, awesome little quad that will just fly. And then obviously you tune it from there. Tune your PIDs and turn it into a real monster after that. Let's see how we do with these wires. Let's see if we can get them to tin. And I'm not going to use my fume extractor. Sorry if you just watched my video on why you should use a fume extractor. The only reason I'm not using it here is because it's quite loud and it will interfere with your ability to hear me at all on this kind of not the best of rigs. Sweet. That'll do. I'm being a little more careful tinning them because we want them skinny enough, no big gobs or anything, because I want to insert them through the board. So you got to take just a little bit more care. I know that's tough to see on camera. This is not, I can't zoom in, but you get the idea. And I get to hang out with you guys on a Friday night, and we get to build a silly, fast, crazy little quadcopter. It's going to be fun. This thing is going to be a real nutcase once we get it assembled. And since I have the flight controller programmed and all set, we should be in good shape. Like, I see no reason I shouldn't be able to finish this weekend, as long as I don't run into troubles with the video transmitter or the camera, which I have not used before. It's totally new. It came with the kit, but we're going to give it a try, just for the sake of trying it. Sweet. 2 down. More to go. What are you guys building out there tonight? Anybody making something cool? How's the weather up there? Good flying weather? It was, except for the wind. Yesterday was 24 -4 Celsius in the shade. In the sun, it was closer to 27. It was awesome. Now today's back down to like 8. And windy like crazy today, so not good flying weather right now. Not today anyway, but maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I got a lot of yard work to do, and I'd love to get my 210 out. I dried it out after last weekend's dunk in the pond. I did do a little quick video on it too, on how to dry out your quadcopter when you dunk it in the drink like Eric did. Not my fault, it was actually the camera that failed. The only thing I could have done was disarm a bit sooner, maybe. Would have maybe saved me a prop, but that's about it. But overall, I got it all dried out, and we're ready to fly again. It's all queued up and ready to rock. And on a plus note, if you weren't here from the other broadcast, check this out. Sneaky sneak peek. Without the receiver plugged in, you can't see much, but this is the new firmware mod for my FSI 6. There's a $50 radio, under $50. Now I have full flight timer, full telemetry, my battery levels, as well as RSSI. The radio strength, the signal strength that I can set alarms on and everything. Under $50. This thing is basically now a Tyrannus. I'm super excited. It's everything I wanted for my mini quads. It's just bloody amazing. The firmware was made April 21st, and I just happened to catch the guys on the RC Group's forum, and they helped me out. It said, "No, yeah, here's the firmware you want to try if you want to try it." And I tried it, and holy smokes, it's awesome. I never thought an under $50 radio would do all the things that this thing does. And I'm on my original batteries from last fall. This thing goes forever. I haven't even bothered switching it to a LiPo. It's still running on AA. This is lunacy. It's heresy, actually. I'm sure all the Futaba and other guys will say I'm crazy, but for under $50, the functionality just can't be beat. It's incredible. So, video coming on next Friday on that for you guys. A complete tutorial how to do it. It's a quick one, but pretty handy. Cool. Building a self-balancing bike, it used gyroscopic stabilization to balance the vehicle. Very, very cool. I don't know anyone personally that has done self-balancing anything, to be honest. That's a pretty cool project. Alright, so let's start with, well, when in doubt, start with number 1. Let's re-verify we've got the flight control facing the right way. We do. It's the way we want it. And motor 1 is going to be this guy. We're going to hook it up, hopefully correctly. Trim off just the end. There's always a little blob of solder on the end, despite how careful you tin them, that will prevent it from passing through the board. We should be good. Now, with any luck, we should be able to pass that through the board into the number 1 position. So we're going to do white will be signal and black will be ground. And we will be in good shape. No problems. Pre-tinned, slide through. Again, don't just blob it on top like these people all over YouTube are doing. The holes are there for a reason. And you will have a far more secure joint, and your quad will be far less likely to fall out of the sky because of loss of connection to an electronic speed control or any of the other connections on the F3. But these are the ones that you're going to go through the board, not so much on the other ones. That looks like poop, but we're going to fix it. It's because we're going to trim these off. And then we're going to clean the tip better. Working from behind the camera sucks. Now we should be able to get a far better joint on that. You know what? There's some kind of contamination on here. Yep. Well, I only make that mistake once. Something's going on. It took forever. I had to melt a lot of solder before that sort of started to clear up. That tells you that there's contamination on the board, and you're having to use the rosin to clean it up. And silly mistake. Should have just taken just some alcohol, just isopropyl alcohol, and clean it up. I could actually see some goo come off of there that wasn't just the rosin. That'll do better. That'll be better. Alright. Good to go. Good to go. I don't think we'll bother touching those up. They're not that bad. They're good now. So that was position 1. Let's go. Position 2 is going to be... It's going to be this guy. It's going to come around. Sweet. Beginner's Tech is here. Cheers. Kyro22 is here. Cheers, buddy. How's things? How are you both doing tonight? Happy Friday, happy weekend. Glad you guys could join. Alright. Get that through. And I really wish I had a better camera rig. I'll rig something up better in the future if we're going to keep doing these from the bench builds, and so that you can get a little bit of a macro shot here. Probably bring it down a bit closer. Not too bad in New Zealand. Awesome, buddy. Beginning of winter for you in New Zealand, more or less. Alright. Those are still through. They're in good shape. Camera. This working around a camera thing. I don't know how Dave Jones does it all the time. Highly frustrating. There, that's much better now that we cleaned that. Sweet. Excelente. That will do. Alright, that was number 2. Number 3 is this guy, right hither. Let's go ahead and trim these again. We should be in good shape. A lot of noise lately because of Canada finally jumping on the bandwagon with some drone and RC regulations, but I don't think it's going to be such a big deal here. We'll see. See what Bruce Simpson has to say about it. He hasn't talked about the Canadian one in a little bit. Oh, come on. That one is not up through all the way. Come on. I know you're longer than that. Get up here. Maybe you're not longer than that. Ah, there you go. Not too bad in New Zealand. Spartacus is here. Cheers. How's things this Friday night, guys? Oof, what is going on with my tip? Just ugly. There we go. Yochi. Sweet. That one's better yet. No contamination like that first one. No fugliness. We can always trim them back. They're a little overextended there, so we can trim them back and then make them extra pretty and just touch them up one more time. This one, I don't like how long I left that. Oof. That is way longer than it needs to be, but you know what? I'm going to leave it. In my experience, it's really handy to be able to take the flight control off and just flip it far to the side. This wire doesn't weigh much. It just makes it a little uglier of a build when you have extra. And it annoys me, but it annoys me more when you can't service the quad later, when you do need to fix things. And last weekend I learned very quickly that I had to take things apart that I never would have thought of because of the dunk in the water. So let's try and make it as functional as we can. Shaggy Buffalo, building that quad is like what brought me into trying out electronics. I never know how interesting and fun it can be. Yeah, it's fantastic. Electronics, just being able to work with it, like, you don't even need a huge level of depth of understanding. Just being able to generally work with it and having a little less fear around it, the possibilities are endless. The things you can just fix, like, to be honest, like, almost every flat screen TV and monitor that's thrown in the dump needs under $1 components to fix it. I'd say over 90% of them, they're all electrolytic cap failures, and somebody with just a basic comfort level around electronics can take that chassis apart and 90% of the time see the caps that are leaking and easily replace them and fix a $500 TV just with a minimum of electronics understanding and skills. It's a great hobby to have. It's extremely well, it can be profitable too. Like, I would never knock someone that went into repair of stuff like that, because truthfully it's very simple stuff. And you're not gonna, like, the purists out there could knock them and say, oh, they don't have a degree, whatever. It doesn't matter, they get the job done. There's John now, fixed an LCD TV with a cap replacement. Absolutely. I have no doubt that that's what it was, because that's what it always is. There. Oof. What is going on here? I do not like that. Oh, this is what happened. Not good, not good. We're gonna have to do some surgery. We have bridged pins because I decided to go poking at it and try and make it prettier, and it was fine before, but it annoyed me that it wasn't the perfect ratio up the peg, up the wire, and now we gotta fix it. There we go. Just solder wick, nothing to it. That made her pretty, and although the negative side is bridged, shit, I don't like, it looks ugly when you got two of them bridged and not the other, so let's fix that too. It doesn't, there's no functionality problem on the negative rail, but it just looks silly. Let's make it gooder. That's more gooder. Just got a lead-free solder ironer. I don't know what that means. Lead-free solder ironer. Alright. Beautiful. Alright. That'll do. Now, we need, this is, for all intents and purposes, this quad can now run these motors. This flight control is now set. We've got battery to them. God, we're getting somewhere. We actually only need one more connection to this flight control board, and that's it. To make this thing flyable, we need to be able to talk from here to here, and we're going to hook it up to the UART3, which should be this one? Yeah, UART3 is this one. We're going to use the RX pin. the power and the ground. And that's all we're going to use, because this is not going to talk back to the receiver in this case, but it needs to listen to the receiver, so we'll use the RX pin. The power and the ground we will hook up to the receiver here, and the receiver we will power it directly from the PDB with its own power. This is contrary to what you'll find on YouTube if you're building one of these. Most people hook their power through the PDB, through the flight control here, and have the flight control feed the receiver. I don't do that because there's too many traces on here, tiny little traces, and too many things to go wrong for just the 5 volt could be lost and we lose our quad, but might not have affected the control of it at all. So I feed it to the receiver. The receiver will have it right from the power distribution board. It will always be good unless it shorts, and then it feeds flight control. And then if just one of these stupid little daisy chained 5 volt traces goes bad, it doesn't matter because we're still feeding this and it's feeding this, and it's all going to work. So just what I do. Kyra's working on a 32-inch. Leaded solder is much more forgiving. Oh yes, there's no comparison. Don't even look at lead-free solder. Like, it's really too bad that this stuff sucks that bad. It really is, but it's completely pointless to even try and... completely pointless to even try and fight with it, in my opinion. It truly is. This stuff is well and truly a nightmare, and, well, we all know it. It's just the way it is. Alright. A couple old servo leads stole from the junk. I think those will do good. We're going to use one for our iBus, that's our data link going into our receiver. It's going to go in on this connection, and then we'll just need a power and a ground, which we won't need this signal wire. Should we take it off? Should we? Is there any reason we would need it? Any reason at all? Thinking. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to think this through. I hate redoing things for no reason. I'm gonna say no, we're not gonna need it. Let's get rid of it. Bye bye. Less confusion, then I'll remember why I did the things I did. So we'll go ahead and depin this. Go ahead and stick our little X-Acto knife onto there and hopefully not stab my fingers. Come on. Wow, that's a tighty. You let go for a second. Come on now. Don't be like that. You're let go. Come on. Out of there. Get out. Alright. Depinned. Now we just have power and ground. Ground in this case is going to be brown. So be it. We'll get by. Right on. And this one, we're going to leave all of them. Now the tricky part is we need to figure out our lengths. Because I have no idea what the length should be, because I have never built the top section of one of these quads before, ever. It's new to me. Other than using leaded solder is chewing gum. It's safe for electronics work. Yeah, like I mentioned, and if you saw my video today, we should have the fume extractor running. This guy right here, and normally I would. Years ago I didn't, but as I get older I think of these things and know the effects. It should be running, but it screws with the video, so the sacrifices I will make for you guys. The audio isn't going to be the best as it is with this particular streaming setup, so yeah, better to stay away from having loud fans running, but we'll see. If you guys don't mind, throw a thumbs up on the video if you guys like these live streams. Really appreciate it. Alright, so this is the front of this fancy pants new rigamabobble. And we're gonna need not much wire. Holy smokes. So what should we do? There's room to come up through the bottom, but that's where I know I'm going to be putting my video transmitter, but let's just plan for going up through there. Give ourselves, there's lots of room in here, but we do have a monster receiver for this size of quad. Like, this thing is tiny, space premium. So let's give ourselves, oh, how much wire should we give? We're going to go to UART3, which is the far side. Let's give ourselves, oh, that much should be plenty. We'll go ahead and we'll do the same as we did with the ESC wires. We'll tin them up and we'll be good. Now, the next one we have to go a little bit further, but it's going to the same place. It's going to the ESC. We just have to go a little bit further because we got to go down underneath the flight control to these pads over here. So we only need just a tiny bit more. Let's just add, well, let's say yay much. And now we can go ahead and strip them, tin them, and we'll be in good shape, I hope. How is that high voltage project? Haven't worked on it. I have lots. There's a mailbag coming where I got, well, I can show you guys. What the heck? I don't always have to be building. So you saw the extreme high voltage transformers that I got from IC Station. Well, me being me, went on eBay and found them for like a ridiculously cheap price, and I ordered a whole bunch more of them. And they are every bit as terrifying as the IC Station ones. Holy smokes, are they nuts. So, what are we going to do with them yet? I don't know. What the video is going to look like, I truly don't know. But it's coming. The mailbag will show you these eBay ones, but the actual build, I don't know when we're going to get that done. Actually, IC Station, like the video, they did send those to me for free. Like, I told them I'd just use them in a video at some point, and they actually sent them before my kind of wintertime break. So I should really get that project going. So I should. It's going to be fun. I don't know whether we just like kind of zap things or make something effective. We can always make a stun gun, but that's actually illegal here, but that's essentially what they are. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do just yet. It's going to be fun no matter what. Alright, so these ones we don't have to tin quite as extreme because these ones are going to go on the PDB board and not through hole. So they don't need to be as perfect. My other chat's silly delayed. Bye, Kyra 20. Oh. Cheers, Kyra. Have a good one. Alright, let's see if we can do this completely behind the camera this time. Sweet. That will do. Alright. Let's... I should be using my little third hand thingy, but it's too much stuff in the way. Alright. Sweet! He's in good shape. This is going to be fantastic. This is the last major connections on this quadcopter. I'm pretty excited about this. Which one should we do first? The hard ones or the easy ones? Let's do the hard ones first. So we want ground, positive, and then we need RX. Ground, positive, and RX. Again, same as before. Please, please, please put them through the holes if you guys are building one of these. Don't just solder them to the top like all these other videos show. It's just crappy. The holes are there for a reason. The problem is just people can't tin the wires effectively. Alright, so I've stuffed them through. Here's a little tasty tidbit. They're through, but we need to hold them there, so you can use whatever you want, but one of these big silly monster clips will do the job, and then when we turn it over to work on the back side, our wires don't fall back out, and we can go ahead and solder them nice and cleanly and do beautiful joints that will never fail because they are soldered just the way they should be. And to be honest, that iron needs a break. I got some crappy irons. The handles, they were supposed to be Heiko replacements, but they are not, so I think we'll use my old Unger here. It's not as hot of an iron, but that other one is to the point where it's going to just about melt the tip right out of it. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to clean it. We ran into this contamination problem before. I can actually see it on there. There's still goopies. Should we just hit it with some flux? That's not the best thing, but hey, what the hell. Because if I don't want to pull those back out. I'm lazy. Let's just hit it with some flux. Flux pen, nothing fancy, just like you will see over on Lewis's channel, Lewis Rossman. Same stuff. It's not a substitute for proper cleaning, but in this case it will help us out, so I don't have to pull those back out. So I had so much luck getting them in there. Everything's harder on live camera. Sweet. Sweet. Oh, I can tell by the smell that there was something in there. Now we'll go ahead and clean it up again. We'll go ahead and take that flux off of there. Easy peasy. And our joints are just fine. Just happy, happy, joy, joy. One on the end, they could all use a touch-up. That's not my best work. We can do better. We can do better. Could tell they were cold joints. That's more better. This one's a little long. Trim, done. Calling it quits. Perfect. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Nice little connection. Good to go. What's going on with chat? Nothing. Nothing with chat. You guys are a quiet bunch tonight. What up with that? Alright. So for this one, for our receiver, we're going to need a 5-volt supply. Where do we want to route this? Well, we can route it after. Now the question is, do we want it going in or out? And in this case, I say we go out. So all we got to do, learn from our mistakes, clean this board slightly, good old Q-tip and a little bit of alcohol. Then we'll tin it, which would have been nicer for my big iron. Crap, this one will work. This one's just not quite as much heat. Sorry, you guys can't see that. There we go. Good shape. Done and done. Quick little touch on the ground. We've already tinned these. Let's go ahead and just zap. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous joint. And then this one, not as beautiful. That's more beautiful. Fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous. That will do perfectly. Ground, 5-volt, no mistakes. Done. Oh, guys, we're there. So this, quite simply, we'll plug in like so. This will plug in like so. And it, for all intents and purposes, is alive. Now, I don't have a smoke stopper rigged up, and I haven't tested this, so let's show you guys how to do that. We're going to use two things to do this. We're going to use my fluke meter. You can use any multimeter, no problem. We're going to use my power supply. Actually, let's not power that up because the leads might be touching. And we're going to see if we screwed anything up. Cheers, Bob. How's things? Good to have you back. Just in time. Are we gonna let the smoke out? This thing is like, we're there. It's time to do the big test. I say we better open a drink first and take a moment just to think about this before we go and hit it with full power. Definitely do not just go ahead and hook up your LiPo. Don't do that. So we'll go ahead. Something like so. That should do. Now, you definitely don't need a Fluke 289. This is way overkill, although it is one of my favorite possessions ever, and I still have the little screen protector. So happy with that. Alright, so let's go simply. We're just going to take on an ohm scale and go across the two. With any luck, we should have something higher than 0, and we do. We've got 515 ohms. That's not real high, but there's a lot of components that are pretty low resistance, a lot of them, so particularly like these guys, and the control circuit for the ESCs the output can be latched right now, so we're gonna say the only other thing we can check, we can check and make sure what we don't have is a short from the positive side to the case, which will just find a good case connection, probably those threads, 5 mega ohms thereabouts, so that's good. We can check the negative side too, but in all honesty we're probably going to find something pretty low. It truly doesn't matter. Yeah, 1.1, so we're good there. If it's good to have it isolated from the frame, but in all honesty, most of the time the frame's going to end up grounded anyway someday. Bob said good to be here. Cheers. Alright, so that checks out. What you would normally have is what's called a smoke stopper. What you do is you just hook a 12 volt light in series with the positive, out here through one contact on a lamp and then out the other, and that way if you have excessive current draw here, just the negative straight through to your battery. If you have excessive current draw going through the quad, anything extreme, what will happen is it'll start to drop the voltage across the light bulb, and the light will light, which actually the light itself acts like a massive current limiter, and you won't burn up the quad. What we have this nifty little power supply where we can just set that up. We can set the current limiting right down, and we can adjust our voltage. Yeah, we can do this. Let's just set it to, I don't know, let's go to, come on. Let's go, it's 14.8 nominal, so let's, 12 volts anywhere is fine. Simulate a rundown pack. Are we on camera? Yes, we are. Current to 0, negative to the negative, positive to the positive. With any luck, if we start bringing the current up on the, let's go on the fly. Yeah, we're good. and nothing happened. It armed. We're drawing 9 milliamps right now. No smoke came out. The machine armed. That's proof positive that what we can do now, we can just go ahead and you guys can hear the awesome, awesome sound. And we have ESC arming, and we haven't even programmed the ESCs yet. We'll program them with the BL Heli programmer, because we're going to have to reverse 2 of them, because I just wired them straight, and we can just reverse them in the firmware. But it's alive. We are good to go. We have arming. Who knows what firmware's on them. All 4 are, I can tell by the vibration when they make their little yap, that we're alive. And our receiver is alive. Everything works. Holy crap. Awesome. 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 What do you think of that? I see the battery wire is good and short. I wonder if you shorten the pigtail from the battery. Yeah. I'm not sure what we're going to do here with this. This is going to be a little long, but we'll sort that out later. This is great. I'm super happy. So, now that we know where we're at with that, we can start to place our last components, which is our video transmitter and our camera. Where'd they be? I got one of them. What do we got here? This is the camera. I don't even know whether this is a CCD or a CMOS. I think it was supposed to be a CMOS camera, but I kind of doubt it is. It's supposed to be 1000 TV line. I'm too blind to see it. 1000 TV line, 640 by 480. Yeah, I don't even see what it says. All that matters, we just need to know what we feed it. And this is a 5-volt camera, so we're going to hook it to the 5-volt side. We can go ahead and plug that in now. Which way did you go? That way. He's tight. There. Nifty little camera. It came with quad, so I don't know what the results will be. Truthfully, I normally wouldn't even bother with one of these, but we're going to build it as sent just to try it. And oh yeah, I got to build some framework up for that. Got to build that. So let's leave that out for right now. Somewhere there should be a harness for our video transmitter. We need that. That's mission critical. We need that. Why in the heck didn't I think of using one of these? Ah, no, it's better that I stuck with what I did. I forget I said that. What do we got in the junk bin here? We got a crappy little dipole antenna that we're never going to use. I think that's it. I think Dutch is what we need. And I think we'll add the beeper to the F3 board. We should actually do that right now. Let's do that right now too. I've never had a beeper on my quad before. But this is the harness we need, definitely, for that. Twist the battery wire. Yeah, for sure. The religion is keep wires short to reduce weight. Absolutely. We want to keep everything as short as possible. Reduces chances of cut wires, broken wires, interference. It reduces weight. There are tons of benefits to keeping them as short as we can. If you guys go back to my video on the ZMR 250, you'll see I truthfully didn't care. I put tons of length of wire on them because that build was a build that I just whacked together and truthfully knew what I was getting out of it, and it wasn't going to ever amount to much. But this one, this is going to be a monster, so let's do a good job. Alright, so we need a beeper, And our quads and electronics don't come with beepers. But guess what? You guys have seen these on the channel before. And guess what's in them? I betcha we have some beepers. I betcha. I'm pretty sure we've got a piezo buzzer in here. Or 2, or 3. There's 2 of them right there. I don't know what voltage they are. Suspect they are 5 volt. We can find out. We got a nifty little power supply right over here. Let's go ahead and find out. Let's not hit it with 12 volts. Let's hit it with 5.0 current. Well, let's hit it with the full thing. If it smokes, it smokes. Is there polarity on it? Yes, there is. That is not at all what I thought it was. That is not a 5 volt buzzer. What is up with that? I thought it was. What up with that? It shouldn't have to do anything. Long wire should be positive on that. That one is. Why was that one just choked? That will do the job. I don't know what's up with this one. Maybe it's just defective. I might have harvested it from materials, or maybe it's a 12 volt. You can hear the diaphragm move, but it doesn't do anything. Could be a 12 volt. Don't know what you guys think. Anyway, don't know. Doesn't matter. We got what we need. We can. Now, obviously, the instructions are going to say, make sure you only buy the buzzer from the hobby store and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is a 5 volt buzzer. It's going to work fine. Perfect. Now, we need wire that plugs into the SP. The buzzer goes into this terminal here, and like I mentioned, I've never had a quad with one on it, so this is first try for me. So it's going to be one of these 2-wire ones, like that guy. And of course, it's directly behind the post. Make sure that is the right wire. And it is. That will do. Now, this thing's got massively long pegs on it. I want to shorten those up. We should be in good shape. Should be sweet. Man, those are light wires. So, when in doubt, let's say we want to go with approximately the same length as what's going to our receiver, because we're going to hide our buzzer up in here somewhere, up in the top, to stay out of the way and out of the muck. And what should we do? Should we shorten these? I believe we should shorten them greatly. Let's positive was the long one. Let's double check that. Double check. Yep. Positive was the long one. I scratched positive into there, and now we're going to shorten these right up to nothing. Because what we're going to do is we're going to solder to them, and then I'll encase this in some glue, automotive goop glue, and it'll hold it all nice and secure and be spiffy forever. And that'll be that. But in the meantime, first off, did I already cut that to length? No, I didn't. Getting all distracted here. Actually, let's cut it. That's too much extra length. Sometimes I'm tempted not to cut because, well, I'm lazy and now I gotta retin, but it's better to just get rid of that excess. Because then the more times that you say, oh, we'll just deal with that, no big deal, then you end up with a big rat's nest of wires stuffed up in there. I had a beeper that didn't work till I crashed it. Cleaned it out and got it working again. So what I run is what's called a locator light. A locating tag on my quads, including my my DJI Phantom, and I think this is just, what the heck, it's there anyway. My locator light is what I'll rely on, but what the heck, this is here, so let's use it. Now, what side was which? Positive to this side. Yeah, that's okay. Let's get it, the third hand down here. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. I have enough trouble behind the camera here. The last thing, don't need more troubles chasing thing around the bench. I have a much better third hand just off camera there, and I'll show you guys in a video in about 3 weeks probably. But it's just too cluttered on the bench right now, so I'll leave it back and use this one that I've had for years. Tasty tidbit: put some heat shrink on your alligator clips, and then you don't mar things, you don't scratch it all to hell. And that's it. Nope, that's not it. Oof. That was it until I saw that there's strands all over the place. That looks like crap. That looks like a monkey did that. Oh, come on, camera. Why you gotta be right there? Come on. That's more gooder. That doesn't look so poverty. Doesn't look like a monkey soldered it. Right on. Now we'll just touch these to the power supply. Awesome. We got a beeper. Custom made out of the Arduino bin, back to life. I have no idea where I got it. I think it came with some Arduino parts. Let's go ahead, while we're on the topic, let's go ahead and finish it. Let's use the third hand. This stuff, if you guys haven't used it before, this automotive goop glue is absolutely fantastic. Hot glue, I love it. I love hot glue. I use it for many things, but when it comes to making something a bit more permanent and actually, to be honest, much nicer looking, I use goop glue. Where is my paper towel? Put a little paper towel under there. Go ahead with that with my crusty old HV screwdriver. This was retired from actually working with electrical. You just go ahead and we're just gonna make a nifty little strain relief, and it's gonna dry completely clear and transparent and look like these wires were supposed to be there right from factory. Because even if you disturb this goop glue and gob it all up and make kind of a goofy mess of it, before it cures, it runs and just turns completely glass clear and turns perfectly smooth. And you won't be able to see it on this camera, but in a few moments that will be just absolutely gorgeous. And that is that, just like that. And we'll go ahead and pinch these. We'll go ahead and give them the twisted pair treatment, even though it's not a data wire. It just looks better if they're twisted. And we're just going to set that up and let it cure. What I'll do is I'll turn it downward, and then it'll make a perfect... Ooh, maybe I won't actually. We will. We better not do that. We better actually, I'm going to keep an eye on this off camera. It's getting a little bit of a bulge, so we'll let gravity do the work here. Keep manipulating it until it gets a little tackier, and so I get the perfect little bubble shape that I'm looking for to make it all nice and pretty. What's the cure time on that? Not long. It'll get tacky in, I don't know, half an hour. It gets pretty tacky on the outside, and then I'd say full cure time around 8 hours, I'd say, but 24 for sure, like to be like completely cured. But 8 hours it's cured. Thin layers is cured in like an hour, to be honest. It really depends on the thickness that you're dealing with. I just love it. I have this is the best, like, I use it for waterproofing, you name it. I buy a Canadian Tire, and the black stuff when you want to blend in. Actually, I should have used black on that. No, I love the clear, the transparent. I've had this tube forever. I think I've gone through 2 tubes in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, and it's maybe $12, and I built half the flight sim, all the wires behind the flight sim on all the switches. I just used this on them once I got everything, because I was soldering right to big ugly posts, because they're actually aviation switches. I just coated them in this, and it doesn't take much. A little goes a long way. Stuff lasts forever. It never goes hard. The tube doesn't go hard. I just love it. Completely watertight and non-conductive, which is actually a big bonus too. There we go. So that's already getting tacky, because I can tell the way it's not flowing down the outside anymore. It's not trying to move, so it's done. We'll just set that up out of the way, forget about it till tomorrow, and then we're good to go. That is kind of the extent of where we're at, I think. Maybe? What do you guys think? Whew, how much further should we go? We can get our camera. What did I do with that video transmitter? There we go. We can do our video transmitter and camera maybe while we're fired up. So this should be a 12 volt connection. 7 to 24, so pretty wide berth. So we're going to need to go on the power distribution on the 12 volt. I guess it doesn't matter. We don't need to be concerned. This one can be a little shorter, because this is going to live right down bottom if I have my way. How should we do this? This is where the tough decisions get made. Let's not go too short on this. Now, that's already. Line 4 is audio in. I can see we've got a white wire, 2 grounds. Okay, so line 4 and 5 is going to be the audio and ground. We're not going to need those. So we can probably depin those. If we had any idea for sure which ones. So it's going to be the white and the black. We can depin those and get those the heck out of there. We don't need them. We do not need audio on this quadcopter. I would like to try it though. Steel flies with audio. It swears by it. Gives him a better sense of control of his quad. I never tried it, to be honest. Am I even off camera? Yeah, I'm off camera. So I'm just gonna lift these connections, and with any luck, those two wires fall right out. Done. There we go. We lightened our load even further. Excellent. Now, the yellow wire is going to go and join this yellow wire on the camera, so they can be ridiculous short. This whole fiasco's got to go. Let's leave ourselves lots of extra on the camera. In my experience, I'm going to have the camera in and out of the quad more than anything, and truthfully I don't think this camera is going to stay in this quad. I don't hold out a lot of hope. So let's cut that off. Tasty tip. Cheers, John. And we can go far less. Let's make an educated guess. Go that much on. Oh, these are ugly wires. Man, these are like, ugh, cheap. That's not high quality wire, but whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. This one is for the VTX. This one is going to the 12 volt side. So let's go ahead and solder it to the 12 volt side, which is going to be this far side over here. Let's go ahead and solder that up, and then I think we'll just solder these up and we'll call it quits. What do you guys think? Call it a success, perhaps. Perhaps. Is the top of the quad backwards? It would be that way, is correct. It's deceiving maybe on camera for you, because it's pointing up, because the quad's always going to be tilted way far forward. Cameras are always going to be pointed way up at the sky. Oh crap, we need that one shortened way up, so let's strip that back. We only need these two going down, because we don't need to hook our video to the power. That would be silly. Awesome. Do 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 do. Where'd you go, solder? Where'd you go? Nice and shiny. And honestly, I think my phone's telling me we are just about out of battery. So we're not going to be able to go much more. Tin these pads. Do. That was ugly. That's more better. Come on. Don't be like that. Oh, this is such a pain with this camera in the way. Tripod between me and the bench. Oh, that is so ugly. Like, that is fine. It's functional, but I don't want anybody seeing that. Ah, that's better. That's better. Take some pride in your solder joints, guys, for sure. It's worth taking just an extra few moments and doing it right. It doesn't take long. Alright, now solder this up. And then we're down to only the video wire will be the last official electrical connection on this quadcopter, which is actually pretty cool. What did I just do? I just do? Why did I do that? That's silly. It helps if you don't put them on the wrong side. Why didn't you guys catch me? Put the 12-volt connection on the 5-volt side. What up with that? This is the 12-volt side. 12-volt to our VTX. Oh. I think it's time to call it a night. I just desoldered my my servo connection. I had it right. I was right the whole time. I was wrong about the wires I was looking at. There we go. Now we're good. Well, we were good before until I broke it. It's been a long day. It has been a long day. There we go. Oof. Ew. These are yucky wires. Not good stuff. Nice. Cannot be there. You go now, solder blob. 5-volt. 5-volt, come on now. Perfect, beautiful, nice clean solder joint. Clean and shiny, just the way we want it. And it is on the 5-volt side, which is the correct side for the camera. Done. Now all we gotta do is join these two wires when we get to the top side, and we're good. So we'll go, what I usually do, give these a little twisty. Believe it or not, there is a spec. If you're doing data wires, you want exactly a certain amount of twists per centimeter, blah blah blah, per inch if you're in the US. Since these are just power wires, the only way I'm with the power and ground, the only reason I'm twisting them is just for looks mainly. It will reject interference even on power wires. That's, if you guys didn't know, the reason that wires are twisted like this is to reject interference. And it took me a long time, when I was young, way back in the day when I was learning such things, to understand how that works. By twisting wires, how does it reject interference? And it's a misnomer. It doesn't reject it at all. What it does is it absorbs it equally into both the signal wire and the ground wire. And that way, it cancels each other out. It doesn't reject it at all. So if you induce an unwanted signal equally into both your signal and your return path, it's a net zero game. And that way, the interference doesn't actually cause any problems. Tasty tidbit for you guys. The more you know. Sometimes I can teach people things, sometimes not. If anybody's even out there listening to me, we're good. We are good. We're done. We are done like dinner. Now we're on to final assembly. We gotta assemble the top, get the camera on this plate, and just plug it in, and then go to beta flight and set up the final setup on our flight controller. And I think we're good. We're in really good shape. And obviously install our video transmitter, 5.8 gigahertz, 600 milliwatt transmitter. I'm gonna set it right up inside there, so we don't. I've seen so many installs where people mount them like that, and then they wonder why it breaks the SMA connection off the board. I'm going to try if I can get away with it and try and suck it right up in, but we might run into clearance issues with the camera up front, so maybe it will have to hang out. Anyway, that's for another day. Bob listens. As a noob, can't offer much. Absolutely. I'm glad you could be there. We all have to learn somewhere, and if I can help at all, awesome. But I learn from you guys out there. I watch all of you YouTubers out there. There's quite a few that watch this channel. I try and watch all your videos from the guys from the community and learn from all you guys. Everybody's got something to offer. my area of well, it's not expertise. My area of bumbling around is electronics and making things and figuring stuff out. But when it comes to, there's many things that I don't understand and don't know yet. And I like learning from you guys too. Anyway, long story. Gotta go, guys. Thanks for hanging out. That was a long broadcast, but thanks for helping me finish this up. Looking great. We're in good shape. Click a thumbs up on this video if you haven't already, if you like this. New video coming live Friday next week. I'll try and do a live broadcast maybe as we set this up. I have some other repair projects we'll do on the bench as well. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend.